All right, guys. So today we're going to go through the complete install of the Aerpro V2. Right. The reason I want to do this, we get a lot of questions. I'm going to try to address all of them as much as I can. So first things first, the instruction manual. It comes in the box, but the instruction manual is for the Australian unit. So if you go on my site, g8only.com, on the Aerpro page, you will have you'll see a link in the item description to download the most current instruction manual. Now, as far as the install, it's identical. It's just a couple of the functionary articles in the back. That would be changed with the one you download on the site. Now here we have the unit unboxed. All right, we're gonna go through all of it. We're gonna go through the wiring harness. We're gonna explain what wires do what you need to hook up, what you don't need to hook up. Just to give you an idea, this is what it comes with. It's got the trim panel that'll go around the faceplate once it's in there to give it a nice finished look. The metal install bracket, the fascia itself, the Aerpro fascia, more mounting hardware, your wiring harness. All right, so the wiring harness here, this will plug into your factory clip that goes into the back of your radio now, and these will plug into your other harnesses that we have. We sell the universal harnesses with the bare ends, as well as ones specifically for the Pioneer, Sony, JVC, Alpine, and Kenwood. All right, this here is for your antenna. And again, we're going to go through all this during the install. I just wanted to show you guys. And today we're going to be installing this, as well as this Alpine unit. Let me see if I can make some room here for you. All right, this Alpine unit, the ILX 507. Great unit. I'm anxious to see it. So let's get started. All right, guys. So here we're going to start the installation. I've already taken off the two trim pieces on both sides. And now we're going to get into the next step, following the directions, which is going to be dropping the glove box. Now, here we are. So first thing you want to do is we're going to have to remove these. All right, just take this little panel off. All right, there's one on both sides. I'll remove the camera here. All right, so there's one on this side as well. And then there's going to be, sorry for the lighting, there's going to be 5 screws. So there's going to be one here, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we got to take all these out. Underneath here, there's a bottom panel. All right, we'll take that off. Go ahead and put the camera down for a second. And you can find a thumb hole or a hole big enough for your thumb off to the left side, closer to the dash. You put your hand in there and you pull it out gently, the clips, and you'll drop that panel down. All right, so there's the panel. All right, take that panel, put it aside. All right, now there's gonna be 2 screws underneath here that we have to. All right, let's see. Now with all the screws removed. So now with that dropped, okay, you'll see your heater core. And you see all this other stuff. Now, if you see back here, that is the harness that we need to disconnect. All right, so disconnect that harness. All right, you'll see it right back here behind this metal plate. All right. Just push. There's a button there that you push it down, and you're done. All right. So now we have the glove box out. So the next step is we have to remove the side panel. So we're removing this piece here. Okay. It says here, we're going to pull out just a couple clips in here, pull out the back, all right, and then we're going to pull down. All right, just straight down. That releases this panel. Okay, that's it. Panel's out. Now in this step of the directions, right, this is on page 2-9, you're going to see it talks about the antenna. Right? Now we have to keep in mind that these directions are for the Australian car, okay, as far as the disassembly. So because of that, you might notice the antenna isn't on this side and it's on the other side, and vice versa. There's going to be things that might be swapped, so you have to do a little bit of looking. But so we're going to go ahead, we're going to get the antenna ready to roll, and we're going to disconnect that. I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, guys, so now we have to disconnect over here, right? This side of the driver, because we're going to have to drop this here to access the other wires, okay? So first things first, all right? Now if you want to use a pry tool, you can probably just get your phone out there, yank that off, okay? Once you get that side panel off, you're going to have to drop this whole lower piece. So to drop this lower piece, okay, it's all just clips. All right, just pull on it lightly. Do not yank. You're not trying to rip it to the moon. All right. Pull on it lightly. You'll see that it drops down. Now I want to show you this here. Okay. Back here, this is your light knob. You want to make sure you disconnect this. All right. Disconnect that. It's very important because you don't want to be yanking that out and doing damage to the wires. And then we're just going to pull straight down to release these clips, and that's it. Okay, now we have that entire piece off. So just like the other side, we're going to see it. All right, pull straight down and out. Okay, out on the back, down on the front, and that's it. All right, you see here, this is connected to that, and that's the end of that. So here, let me get my flashlight. Okay, so here we have some wires that need to be disconnected. Hang on a second. Try to see from this angle. Let me see if I can get in there. So we're looking at these wires right up here. Push on top, push the clip down, slide that out. Okay, so that's your antenna wire, and that's it. All right, so the next step of the car, the next step of the install, we're going back to the other side. All right, so back on the other side, what you're going to notice is the main radio harness. That's what we have to disconnect now. So what you're going to want to do, you move these wires out of the way, and you'll see this clip. This clip is a pinch. So if you pinch here and then pull it towards you, it'll start to release. All right, move the wires out of the way and pull up. Once you get about what seems to be about 33% of the way up, you'll see that it just releases. There you go. Now the main harness is now disconnected from the stereo. All right, so now we're going to be removing this. Now, for sake of video purposes, we've already taken this off. I just put it back on there to show you guys. Usually they come off pretty easily. This one was a bear. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna break the whole dash, but you literally just reach underneath it. All right, you're gonna pull out from the bottom, and then you're gonna unclip the top. Okay, then it's not gonna come out this easy. I've already taken this one out. I'm just doing just to show you guys. On the back, you'll see it's literally held in by these 4 clips. This one was really in there. Like, we had a yank on it to get it out. So, all right. So now you have to remove these 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the corners. All right. Now what we want to do is we want to take this radio out now that we've already disconnected it from the back and also unscrewed it from the front. Okay, so this will come right out. There's your factory radio, leaving you with just this wide open hole and access to all the harnesses. Now that we have the factory radio out, what we have to do is we have to remove, there's 2 screws. There's one here and there's one on the other side. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so now we have all that disconnected, all that ready for the new radio. So it says now on page 222, it says before mounting the new kit into the vehicle, plug in the supplied harness to the rear of the fascia, right? So we'll do that now. We got the fascia here, all right? We have two harnesses. So we have this one, which is the main harness, all right? And then we have this one here, which is the steering wheel control harness, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug these two in, and that's it. So now both harnesses are plugged in, okay? Make sure the connection is nice and tight, and then it wants you to plug in the antenna, okay? So put this over here. The antenna harness, which comes separately. All right, now if you remember, our antenna connections on the driver's side, this wire here, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just plug this right in. It only goes in one way, that's it. Now it wants us to take the fascia. Get everything hanging through this way for now. All right. Like that. So now it wants us to put the fascia in. Okay, you'll see there's two channels here on either side where the old screws were that we took out. Okay, these are going to go in. There's a little bit of pressure. Don't worry, you're not going to break it. All right, push it in. All right, and back. There you go. Now, you want to make sure that it is seated correctly. So now we're going to take those two screws that we previously took out of the corners in here, and we're going to put those back in. Mm-hmm. My flash up. Now both of those installed. This one, I'm not gonna lie, pain in the ass, but we got it. All right. So now the next thing to do is bottom hole using a 3/8 drill bit and using the supplied screw. So you'll see down here that there's a space. Okay. So there's already a hole drilled there, and there's a space in here, and it rocks back and forth. They do include, with their kit, with their install kit, a washer. Okay, so we're going to use that washer, and they do also supply the screw. Now, I know a lot of guys, not a lot, but I've seen some guys who said, oh yeah, I drilled it out as stated, and the hole's now too big. I'm not going to pre-drill it. I'm not going to drill a hole because there's already a hole there, so I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to use the hole that exists and see if that's good enough. So next thing we want to do is we're going to be installing this bracket, this cage. Okay, so first thing you want to do is take all your wires that you have, slide them through. You don't want to get caught and end up tearing a wire. Slide everything through. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to just push it in place. All right. Now, obviously, you're going to have to let go of the wires because it's going to pull them back, but we wanted them out of the way at first. Now, there we go. Okay. Now that's in place. Now, what you'll notice are these tabs. All right. These cuts. Those are tabs that we're going to bend down in order to hold this bracket behind this fascia. Okay. So I will try to do this with you. But I'm going to take it. I'm going to put a flathead screwdriver in there. You're just gonna push, okay? You're not gonna kill it, just push it. It's gonna hold tension, all right? Push. Okay, so now I've went ahead and I pushed the tabs in. All right, you'll see that I pushed as many as I can in all the way around, all right, including on top. All right, as many as you can in that are close to this outer lip here, right, where this is meeting, because that'll keep this brace nice and tight. So this cage isn't moving now. All right, so now to mount the bracketry on the radio fascia, that's going to now sit on the radio that's going to sit in the fascia. There's a couple things you have to do. You're going to have these brackets here, okay? So these brackets, they fit inside and they lock. All right, so what we want to do, it's adjustable. I know every radio is going to be different on how it mounts. That's why there's multiple different holes, multiple holes here. Key to note that where this piece, right, these little clips, where these clip into the fascia is 18 millimeter deep. All right, so use that as a gauge as to where you want your face, if I'm explaining this right. So imagine the fascia starts at this clip, right? This is already pre-measured to 18. So where you want the face to sit. So I want the face to sit pretty flush. All right, so we're gonna go there and we're gonna mount. We're gonna make sure that this clip starts around there. That'll leave my face pretty flush. All right, and we'll remeasure that again once we put this on. That it's gonna be there. I want 18 mil off the face. All right, to there. We are damn near perfect, okay? So now, you're gonna use the screws that they supply. All right, put them in here. And I'll go ahead and I'll measure again when this is over with. So make sure that everything's still good, but. All right, so now, okay, I installed the brackets on the head unit, and this one's an Alpine, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use the Alpine harness, the plug and play harness that we have, okay? So this will plug directly into the back of the radio, which it's going to replace the harness that came with the radio. Now also, with this head unit specifically, it has wireless CarPlay, but it also has these two USB dongles, one for charging and one for CarPlay. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this one, which is for the Apple CarPlay, directly to the USB that comes from the Aerpro. Okay, so now this Aerpro up here in the USB connection will be able to run CarPlay if somebody else is in there that's not connected to wireless, as well as it should also charge, because I think the CarPlay will charge it. And then we're gonna go from there, and then we'll go over the rest of this wiring here. I'm gonna take this, open this up, and just plug this in. All right, so that's that. So now that'll feed the front USB. All right, and now with the plug and play adapter that we have for Alpine, okay, you'll see that there's a couple wires. We get asked about this quite a bit. So we have the reverse wire, the parking brake wire, and then this is a remote turn on, right? So the parking brake, you'll see from the Aerpro, it has a parking brake wire in there. So a lot of guys would ground that out. Okay, that will limit certain functions that you're able to do unless the car's in park. So if you ground it out, it'll allow you to do those functions. So it's a little workaround there. So we're gonna end up grounding that out. The speed sensor, this head unit does not have a speed sensor function, so we're not worried about that. And then we have the reverse. Okay, so the reverse is a fused line, right? And you'll see these two. One's a female, one's a male, and we'll be able to just go ahead and click these two together. All right. So now that those two are clicked together, that one's done. Should be in there nice and tight. All right. So that's done. So now the reverse is done. And then the parking brake, like I said, we're going to ground that out. And then these two wires here, the red and black, are going to connect to the factory harnesses, red or brown, if you will, and black. All right. So these are going to be a quick click in. All right, so those two are connected. So now this will go ahead and connect to the back of the Alpine that we have. This plug here is going to connect back to the factory large line that we have over here, the main harness. that'll power everything, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the install. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish plugging this up and get it pushed back. And before we finish the install, we'll turn the car on and reconnect the battery and make sure everything works. Oh, also should mention, here is the factory antenna, or is the antenna for the factory line. And this also has, we're going to be hooking up a, this head unit's got a lot of features, but we're going to be hooking up a microphone that's going to be run in a little bit, and then the microphone will plug right in here as well. So everything will plug right in, and we'll slide it right back. All right, so we're going to reconnect the battery, see if everything works as it should. All right, so we got the Alpine on, we got the HVAC on. All right, everything seems to be working here. See, as we scroll down here, it's changing the temperature. All right. Let's see. Gotta mess with those because I don't know what they do yet. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's controlling the fan speed and the temperature on the other side. All right. So if you have a head unit that you don't have the patch, I think Traxxas, or what is it? I don't remember the name of the company, but there's Metro, I think, makes one, an access cable that will allow you to control the audio, the head unit itself with the steering wheel controls. If you don't have that, what will happen is the Aerpro will default to controlling the HVAC via the audio up and channel up. All right, so now everything has been installed. Everything's back. Now we're not putting the panels back here because this person's actually needs to get back here, so we're not going to bother doing that. They're going to do it themselves. But radio's installed, the fascia's fully installed, everything's hooked up. We already tested it, but we're going to go ahead and show you guys. All right. One of the things to notice is down here on the LCD screen, if you have a version 2 US kit, when it starts up, it's going to say G8. If it doesn't say G8, you don't have a version 2 US. It says G8, and then it says, it goes right into the HVAC. All right, so everything works. Let me see if I can, there we go. All right, so now, just hopefully that's a little bit better lighting for you. So you see here, all right, everything's on. All right, we adjust this side. All right, it goes up high. All right, this is dual zone. All right, this will adjust this side. All right, and all the instructions on what to do here is inside. You'll see the outside temperature. All right, these are all touch. This is fan speed. All right, so you just touch it, you hear it click. It's adjusting the fan speed out. And you'll see when you click it, it blinks a little bit. That'll let you know that it's engaged. All right, over here, adjust the recirculation versus cabin air, and over here is the defroster, front and rear. All right, if you press and hold it, it'll go to the front. If you just press it once, it'll turn on the rear, and if you press and hold it, it'll turn off the front. All right, like here, when you click the right button, it'll change the orientation of the fan. All right, I hear it all working. All right, you press this, you'll set the auto or manual. So that's basically syncing them, right? So right now, all right, let's set auto temperature. And that's everything. That's it, guys. And the front USB is connected. Stereo is connected. This is the Alpine stereo. What is this? The ILX 507. Awesome radio, by the way. Sounds great. And that's it. Everything's done. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helps some people.